Hello guys, welcome to my video. I'm here this very cold evening, to talk to you guys about what some people do while learning how to code that might be affecting them, the things that you should not do while learning how to code. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. And if you're returning, welcome back, and it's good to see you here again today. So yes guys, today we'll be talking about the things that people do that they should not be doing while learning how to code. So stay tuned and listen up as I show you these things. So the first reason, or the first thing I would say, is that people do not maximize online resources. I feel like online resources are resources that basically kind of condense a lot of information. They condense a lot of information into, easily digestible information that you can, easily take in, understand and comprehend. And so if you are not using online resources, I totally advise you to do. Books are good, books are great, but I think that for a beginner, there is a lot of value, and you'll be using your time efficiently by using online resources, to get into coding. So I totally advise, maximizing online resources. Now, in terms of online resources, I would say my best bet, or what I would advise to do, is to use YouTube videos and use interactive platforms. For YouTube videos, I'd advise that you kind of listen to a YouTuber that you vibe with, right? That you connect with, that you understand, that keeps you engaged, not the one that will make you sleep off, right? So please, I'd advise you do that. Then secondly, I think that for interactive platforms, I advise you to do that because you kind of get immediate output, right? For example, Codecademy, I've talked about Codecademy before. With Codecademy, you can, type in your line of code, see if it's right, see if it's wrong. That way you are kept engaged. So I think those two platforms are really useful for someone that is a beginner. And yeah, you should totally not be ignoring online platforms. All right, okay. Now, one thing that I've seen people do a lot is learning too many languages at a time. I think that you should totally try as much as possible not to do this. As someone that is learning and just getting into coding, take time to focus on one language and master it. Maybe not master it, but get beyond the fundamentals, right, from that language, so that you can actually use it to solve problems. I found myself in a boot camp when I was trying to learn, and in the boot camp, there were people that were learning other things than what I was learning, and so we would have conversations like during break, talking about the things that we're working on and stuff like that. And there was a tendency to, maybe someone tells you that they are working on this language, and then what they are doing with it, and there's a tendency to go and peek into what that language is and how you can use it and just learn something about it. Don't get me wrong, I think that that's fine, but I also think that if you're learning and just trying to get a hang of programming, then you should try to place your focus on one language, right? Place your focus on one language, learn the syntax, learn how it works, learn the dynamics around it, how you can use it to solve problems well before you start looking at other languages. I feel like doing that could make you demotivated, it could make you overwhelmed, and it could make you to think of probably quitting. So yeah, I think that this is one thing you should not be doing when you are trying to learn how to code. So the third thing that I think that people should not be doing while trying to learn how to code is overthinking it. Please don't overthink it. I know a lot of people talk about learning how to code. They say they are going to learn how to code at so time. They talk about the languages that they are going to use to learn how to, or they are going to learn first, but before they actually get to it, they probably have lost all the motivation already. Yeah, so there are two areas to overthinking it. Overthinking it to even get started with coding, and then overthinking it when you actually start coding. So I've talked about overthinking it before. Now, while you're coding, there's a tendency for you to see a lot of things. Like, for example, you're learning JavaScript, you're learning about for loop, you're learning about closures, you're learning about recursive recursion, you're learning about fetching from the API, you're learning about different concepts, asynchronous functions, you're learning about different things, right? And then there's a tendency for you to kind of be overwhelmed. So I would say take it a day at a time, maybe learn a concept at a time. Don't learn so many things at once, so that you can easily learn or kind of get into the flow, right, and understand it well. So don't overthink it. These concepts are not as crazy or as complex as you might think right now, but you might just need some time to properly understand it. So try not to overthink it. One thing that people do a lot, and I think that you should not be doing while learning how to code, is comparing yourself or comparing your progress with other people's progress. People learn at different paces. People learn, in different ways. People have their different patterns and styles of learning. So I think that as a beginner, you should, as much as possible, try not to compare yourself with others. You can use other people, like other people that are probably learning faster, can be a sort of motivation, to you to keep learning. But please don't use them as a yardstick, like, hey, I must be like this person, or why am I not learning at the same pace this person is learning, right? For the reasons I mentioned earlier, some people that learn fast might have problem retaining their knowledge, while people that learn slow might be able to retain what they've learned for longer. So it works in different ways. So basically, we're all different. We have different styles of learning. So please don't compare yourself with other people while you're learning how to code. Now, one thing that I think a lot of people fall into, and I think that you should try to avoid when learning how to code, is getting distracted. Tons of people get distracted when they're learning. Tons of people find themselves maybe picking calls, attending to other things. And of course, we have responsibilities in life, right? We have things to do. We have other things besides learning how to code to do. So I can't just say, put away those things. But I would honestly advise that if you really want to grasp a concept well, and in probably the shortest possible time, it's advisable to limit the distractions that you have. If you have to turn off your phone, if you have to lock your door, if you have kids, I don't think you can lock your door. But yeah, if you have to basically put some structures in place such that you have undivided attention and you're able to focus on this query, then I would say please go for it and try to do that as much as you can, because I've come to see that most of the things that I learned undistracted, right, most of the things that I was able to grasp undistracted, I retained them for longer, and I learned them faster than when I was distracted. So yeah, I totally think that you should try to stay undistracted when learning how to code. Yeah, guys, so a lot of people don't ask for help, especially beginners. A lot of people just feel like, I can do it all by myself, I got it all together, nobody needs to help me. And yeah, I don't think that you should be doing that, because you actually don't have it all together at that point. You can't do it by yourself. You are pretty new. You don't know as much as you probably think you know. Okay, I'm just kidding. But the point is, at this point, nobody's going to put so much pressure on you because you don't know one or two things. So feel free to ask questions. Don't be shy, don't feel intimidated, and make sure that you are surrounded by people that encourage you to ask questions. If you find yourself with people that make you feel ashamed or feel bad for asking questions, you probably should change that and be around more people that actually make you or encourage you to ask them questions. When you actually start coding and you start solving problems, then you can start doing your own research, and then when you get stuck, ask for help. But I feel like when you're totally new, then you have all the excuse in this world to ask for help, right? Ask for help. Most people that you would be asking for help from actually ask for help as well to get to where they are. So yeah, don't feel bad about having to ask for help. And the final thing that I would say is that you should join coding communities. I know lots of people might feel a bit shy and reserved, especially people that get into coding. A lot of programmers are introverted. I have a video on that on this channel. You should probably check it out at a conference I spoke at earlier this week. But yeah, a lot of programmers are introverted, and that's totally understandable. But I am of the opinion, or I think that you can be introverted and still communicate, right? You can be introverted and still network, right? Just need to understand yourself better, know the times that that your batteries are really charged, supercharged, to be able to do that. So yeah, as much as possible, as someone that is new in coding, I encourage you to network, to go to coding events, virtual or physical events. You might meet people that could help you accelerate your career. You learn more about the tech space. There's just so much I believe you have to gain from coding communities. And I wish I had known this earlier, because I personally wasn't really, and this is hugely because I'm introverted, I wasn't really actively involved in a lot of coding communities when I started coding. And I feel like if I had, it would have had a better impact on my journey. And so I would advise that if you're just learning how to code, connect with other programmers, connect with other people that code, hang out with them. It might not just be on tech stuff, but just have a cordial relationship with other people in your space, because I think that it's a really good advantage to have. So yeah, these are all the things that I think that you should not be doing as a programmer or as someone new in tech, as someone new to coding. And yeah, please take note of these things, and hopefully this helped you, or this video is useful to you. If there's a topic you'd like me to talk about regarding getting into coding, getting into tech, please drop it as a comment here. Also, if there is something that you're doing currently as a programmer that you think is really helpful to you and would be or could be helpful to others, please drop it as a comment down here as well. Yeah, I've come to the end of this video. If you are interested in knowing why I love being a software engineer, why this software engineering life is something I enjoy and I enjoy talking about, please watch this video right here. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do that right here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.